Hello YouTube family, thank you for tuning in to my channel. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Like, share, and subscribe. So in this video, what I want to talk about, this will be part one of narcissistic parents. I'm gonna touch on it a little bit. I'm gonna do another video also. This is part one. What I want to say about the narcissist parent is that the narcissist parent been a narcissist also since he or she or both of them. Some narcissist parents are just single parents, male or female. Some narcissist parents are two parents parenting together in the same household. So I want to touch on that. Narcissist parents, they destroy their kids. I mean, they destroy them very, 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 very bad. Narcissistic parents are very, narcissists are very manipulative and controlling. So just imagine the kids that's in the house and how the narcissist parent manipulates and control them. And a narcissist parent are just like a narcissist and kind of a relationship, but the kid's supposed to play like the wife role or the husband role, the other spouse role, and also supposed to cater to them. And also narcissist parents give each child a role, and it's actually worse and more damaging the more kids that the narcissist has. You know what I'm saying? If a narcissist has two kids, one is still going to at least be the golden child and one going to be the scapegoat. But that's always, you know what I'm saying? If they got one child, that one child going to be the scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? A narcissist, a parent can't have one child and it be the golden child. It's just going to be the scapegoat. If the narcissist parent or parents have two children, one's gonna be the golden child and one's gonna be the scapegoat. And if the narcissist has multiple kids, which some narcissists, parents have multiple kids, so some of them would definitely be the other, like one to be the scapegoat, one to be the golden child. The other will be like the clown, the clown child, the clown of the family, always joking around, the jokester, the clown who always, trying to make somebody laugh and just joke about everything, don't take anything serious. Then also you got the black sheep, then you got the breadwinner. So it's just more roles and more dysfunction and more chaos in the household and more damage to grown folks when as they get older, and in the family too. Because you got to understand, the narcissist parent grew up in dysfunction also. That's why they bring it to their household with their children, because the household they grew up in, it was dysfunction. And so a narcissist parent wants to create what narcissists like the norm of what and toxic people like chaos. So they only feel comfortable when it's chaos, because that was what they were grown up to and that's what they comfortable with. And they have a twisted mental illness inside, and they're toxic inside, and they're demonic and evil inside. So what they grew up in was the same thing, so they want to create that same thing. So if a narcissistic parent or parents grew up in a house where it was a lot of children, he or she or both of them will want to have a lot of children to create what they had. So if a narcissistic parent had multiple siblings and this big dysfunction, they will have multiple kids so they can have that, because they want that, they need to have that. So a narcissist, a single mother, she'll have multiple kids, like by different people, and have them just so she can have that what she had. And then she'll create the dysfunction between them that her siblings had between them. And she know how to do that because, first of all, she evil, manipulative, and so she's seen it, and so it's embedded in them. So she know how to, it's kind of like this what we used to play, game we used to play when we was kids. So when she have all these kids, our kids is like, okay, this is the game we used to play. So from young, you got to understand, kids don't have their own mind when they're young. So the narcissistic parent, our parents are setting the kids up to play roles when they're young, and the kids don't even notice. And some of them are grown and don't even know it now, because most kids, especially, it's like the only one who really come to their senses is the scapegoat. The scapegoat is the one that always is hated on. The narcissists have everybody 100% under control except for the scapegoat, because the scapegoat is kind of most likely better than all of them. And that's why that person is the scapegoat. He's the good one. The good one who's better than everybody, you know, he will definitely be the scapegoat, you know, because most likely the narcissist parent seen good in that child from young. So automatically make that person a scapegoat. Or if that person is the empath, she will, or he will, or both will make the empath one the scapegoat, and which is very sad, but that's what happens. And then the rest of the kids, children, have their own separate titles. You know, like the golden child, the jokester, the clown, the breadwinner, or even the black sheep. I forgot to mention the black sheep. So the narcissist parent, our parents, create all this drama in the household, because the narcissist parent, our parents, grew up in this dysfunction and this chaos, which they got from their parents or one of their parents, and they learned that and they took that on. So they create that in their own house with their children. So the recycles just happens and happens again. Now the narcissistic parent, our parents, want their children to, they put them in a position to where they play these roles that they not supposed to. Like the son is supposed to play the husband role for the mom, and the daughter is supposed to play the wife role for the husband, the man. And the man, the boys, or the boys supposed to play the woman, the woman's husband, or the wife husband. So that's the roles of they take on the roles of a spouse, depending on their gender. So once they create this dynamic of dysfunction, also they have they flying monkeys, is which the rest of the family that are dysfunctional as well, because the narcissist parent siblings are dysfunctional too. So this is what they have the sense of, and the narcissist parent, our parents, are always going to be in touch with and have around their dysfunctional narcissistic siblings, because they exist together. Like you get what I'm saying? It's kind of like good people hang with good people. It's kind of like rich people hang with rich people. You hang and associate and speak the same language of people who you are and who you familiar with and who you relate to. So it's the same thing with narcissists. You know, they are familiar and hang out with, they familiar with, and that's where they get their most support from and most protection from, because they are going to stick together. You know, just like every other group or whatever have you, whatever they have or what they are and represent, they're going to protect themselves. And they have to be together, because the dysfunction, they need it. So they've been doing this, having this dysfunction forever. So it's kind of like they grew up with it. So that's who you're going to relate to with more. It's kind of like rich kids hang out with rich kids. They hang out with privileged kids. And then they grow up together and be friends because they relate to each other. So narcissists always going to have they toxic family members and be close to them, because they speak the same language and they all need the same thing, which they help curate the same thing. So the narcissistic parent or parents don't care nothing about the kids. They don't care about the kids. They don't love the kids. Like we all know, if you don't know, narcissists don't have no love. They don't have no emotions. They just know how to pretend and fake it and speak like they do, but they don't. So the kids grow up with no love. They're not gonna spend time with their kids. They're not gonna teach their kids good things because they don't want their kids to know good things. And so they don't teach them, especially the ones that want their kids just to stay with them and be with them all the time and don't leave and grow up to branch and be something. So, because once the kids leave and they all leave, like the narcissist has no more supply or all that supply that they want from all the kids are kids. Except for the narcissists that want their kids to be something because they want to say, look at what I created. Like you're like, because you are a narcissist victim and supply are always an extension of them. So if you have parents who are successful, they're going to want you to be successful because that's who they are. So if a narcissist parent or parents are successful, they're going to want their kids to be successful. If a narcissist parents are mediocre, they're going to want their kids to be even mediocre than they are. You know, so that's how that goes. So the narcissistic parent or parents use their kids to get the supply that they want. And depending on how much kids they have, that's how much supply that they get. The narcissists been the way they are for forever. So they're always going to be who they are because narcissists are incapable of changing. They can't change. So the narcissist parent or parents are causing a lot of chaos between the siblings. So the siblings don't really get along, especially the golden child think that they're above everyone, of all the kids, of all his siblings, brothers and sisters, or whether the golden child have one sister or just have one brother, they still think they better than that one. Or if they have 2 siblings or 20 siblings, it don't matter if it's one sibling the golden child have or if it's the 20, they still think the golden child still believes and just knows for a fact that they're better than that one sibling or that 1 to 20 siblings. And that's because the narcissist parent or parents treat the golden child like that and been telling them that from young. And the thing that the narcissist kids don't get is that they've been brought in dysfunction, but they don't know that they've been brought into dysfunction because that was their norm. So anyone thinks that their norm is good. They don't see it as a mental illness or see it as dysfunction, even if it is. It's the norm. It's what they used to. It's what they used to, and what they've been brought up in. So that's what they believe, and most likely only the scapegoat will get and understand what they are dealing with and understand that their parents are no good. Their parents don't love them, and in that narcissistic house, the siblings are beefing. They are having turmoil, and the golden child just think that they're better than all the siblings, and he or she walk around with their chest poke out like they the best thing since sliced bread, which they really not. And the golden child has it the worst, in a way. And the scapegoat has it the worst in another way. But the scapegoat is always better than the golden child or any other, the rest of them. It's kind of like the biblical story about David, how for example, like it's good to read the King James Version, the Bible of the story of David, how David's father and his siblings treat him like he was just trash of the earth. He was just scum of the earth, to where they looked at him like he was nobody. Like, you go get the lunch, you bring us lunch, you are a slave, we're kings, we're better than you, you nobody. And if you're familiar with the Bible and the biblical stories, David is the story about the son David who became king. You are definitely familiar with this story because this is one of the top familiar and popular ones. But if you guys don't know, look up the story of King David in the Bible. He was treated, and this is a good example because he was treated like he was a piece of crap. So he was and in the narcissistic home, you have the golden child at the top, and you have the scapegoat at the bottom, and the other kids that's in between, like the breadwinner or the black sheep and the clown, the jokester, they are in the middle. So and everybody know their roles, and it works like that. So all of the siblings is against the scapegoat. They don't like the scapegoat. They see the scapegoat as, you go get us lunch, you clean the house. Basically Sylvia, Silva, or whatever her name was in Color Purple. Like, you just the maid, you clean, that's what you made to do. Clean, cook, after you cook, clean up, and you just do what we need to do while we sit and be lazy. You the scapegoat. Something go wrong, it's your fault. Even if it had nothing to do with you. You know, so that's how it works in the household with the siblings, with the narcissistic parents or parents. So with that being said, David was treated like that. He was at the bottom, and they treated him, because all the other kids is against the scapegoat. The parent or parents programmed the rest of the kids like that. So the whole time, David was king. Now, David was the one who was treated like he was nobody, scum on the earth. He was the slave. He was the go get lunch, make lunch, bring it to us. You know, clean the dog, clean the pig's doodle, clean the barns, clean the pigs. And that was his role, to do that. And in a narcissistic house, the scapegoat is the one who's supposed to do all of that. Cook, clean, do all the work that they don't want to do because they are more than he is, and he's just the scum on the earth. But understand this, David was the one who was king. David was on his route to bring lunch. You know, I don't know, I can't remember if it was just for his family or if it was just for everybody, the whole army. Now get this too, don't let me miss this. Now you see, the father and the siblings all treated David like he was nobody and scum of the earth. You get that? So you see, that's how the father seen David, and that's who he wanted David to be. David's father seen him like that too and wanted him to be like that. So common sense would tell you he programmed the rest of his kids to see David that way too. He ordered it and structured it for it to be like that. And that's how it ended up, because that's the way he seen it and made the positions for them since they were kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same way it goes. And now today of society and household dealing with narcissistic parents or one parent, you know. So, and David was really the one who ended up being king. When he went to bring them their lunch, a giant came and challenged everybody. This giant that everybody, the whole city or town was scared of, that his dad and his brothers were scared of, and every other army or everybody else in the village was scared of. And David wasn't scared of him. the giant asked for a challenge, and everybody was scared except David. David, and I think the giant name was Goliath. Yeah, the story of David and Goliath. The David challenged the giant, and they was saying the giant, and when David challenged the giant, his father and his brothers looked at him like, huh? You the cleanup man, you our slave. How you, such little old you dirt trash scum of the earth, gonna challenge the giant? Like, who you? If we're scared of him, or we know we're not gonna be him, you're definitely not. You're nobody. You don't have nothing to say. Like, they treated him, they talk down to him like, ilk, you? Like, no way. Go, you supposed to be getting our lunch. Go ahead with this nonsense. You challenging the giant and think you're gonna win. David challenged the giant and took out the giant with a sling and a shot of a rock. That's right. And when David was worshiping and giving praise to the Lord, to God, when he was getting ready and talking to destroy the giant. Yes. And he did his thing with the rock and the sling and knocked the giant dead. And then that's how David became king. So, with that, tell you about the scapegoat child. The scapegoat child is somebody special. And the parent or parents of the scapegoat know that. So they want to bring him down. They don't like good. They seen the good in that the scapegoat child, which what they wanted him to be, because they treated him bad because he was good. Just like the narcissist is. That's what they do. They don't like good. They treat the goodest people the worst. They really want to destroy them because they good. That's why the scapegoat is always something good and special about the scapegoat, especially if it has something to do with God. So that's why the narcissist parent or parents do the scapegoat like that and put him at the bottom of the barrel. Yes. And so the scapegoat is really the awesome person. And the golden child is really the worst. That's why the parents put him at the top, because he the worst. They put the golden child at the top because he's the worst. So narcissists are evil, so they give praise to evil. So he's the most no good. So they put the golden child at the top. Then the goodest child they got, they put him at the bottom as the scapegoat. Yes. Then the rest of the children, the middle ones, the breadwinner, the black sheep, or the jokester, they are no good either. So they just go in the middle because they're like, they're just as evil and no good either, because the narcissist programmed them to be narcissists. So the golden child and the rest of the symbolists, they are evil narcissists. And the scapegoat is most likely not to be like that. He's the good one, so they made him the scapegoat. They seen like he's not going to be, or she's not going to be the one who end up being who I want them to be. They're the good one. They got a good in them, so you're the scapegoat. So the rest of them all end up being the ones who are narcissistic and have this mental illness in them and this dysfunction in them that they love. And the golden child usually be the ones who see what's going on and break up from that and recognize the real. And the scapegoat one day will find out what's going on and know what's going on and know the truth, because the scapegoat is the one who's gonna want the truth. And the scapegoat is really the warrior. The narcissist parent or parents, and the rest of the children are the weak scumbags. But they're always going to treat the good one like a scumbag. That's what narcissists always do. Even in the relationship, how a narcissist pick a victim or supply for a relationship, narcissists always pick a partner or supply, well, really a victim and supply that they want by how good they are. So they can be treated good while they treat you bad and destroy you for being good. And that's why the scapegoat is being destroyed by the narcissist's parent or parent and the rest of his siblings for being good, because they're not good and they know that, because their mother was able to fill them with all that poison and toxic, and she trained them up to be who they are now. So she will always make sure that the other siblings hate the scapegoat, and she's been programming them that since young. So if you are in this situation or don't understand it, this is what is going on. So your siblings and the rest of your toxic family also too been also programming your siblings too, and then their kids too. So your cousins and your nieces and nephews, they are also being programmed from youth to also hate you and don't like you, and are also from being little infants being brought up to be evil. So that's why basically the scapegoat is the most likely one who's hated by all the family. So I will be doing a part 2 on this. This is part 1. I appreciate and thank you for even listening and subscribing to my channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great, wonderful, blessed, and narc-free day. And so, leave your comments. Ask me questions. If there's any video you want me to request, any videos you want to request that you would like me to do, let me know, and I'm gonna do them. And let me know how you feel, what you think, or your experience on this, or whether you want to go in more detail about whether you think what I'm saying is right or not, or if you believe what I'm saying is right or not. So just let me know, and that'll be it. Love you all. Bye.